We're coming back. It's compLexity and CounterLogic Gaming here, about to face off on Cash, and a big game for CounterLogic Gaming, who need to secure the next 3 victories to include this one in order to secure their 5th place going forward. And since we're going forward, we're going to bring Vendetta into the conversation. Now, Vendetta, going into Cash, I don't think I can personally say that there's a real clear favorite going into this one.
Okay, I'm going to do that for you. I think there's a clear favorite in CLG going into Cash. Well, a clear favorite might be a bit of a stretch, but I do think you have to favor them.
See, he thought about it. Yeah. What happened right there was he was real confident. He was real sure of himself.
And then I thought of Moses, and then confidence just shredded immediately, and now I'm back to sitting on the fence. No, but I'm still favoring CLG into this match, and I do expect them to pick up the W.
Absolutely. I mean, they know what's on the line. I think most of them do,
and I think that's that actually plays into it. The fact that they have something to play for at this point. compLexity are at the space, or at the spot where they can't really make it to playoffs, but they're not really in danger of actually facing relegation either. So they're in, they're safe in that sense, but
they're in limbo.
Yeah, but they don't have that urge really, or that pressure on them to perform necessarily.
Speaking of urge, I have an urge to throw it over to Eric Bear Stromberg, who's standing by to go over CounterLogic Gaming's Cash.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Stromberg Strategies. We're going to look at CLG and take a gander at their teamwork from 3 different point of views on how they make this first go around work in the way. Okay, so as you see right here, they have very low utility. Smoke, flash from CLG, optic, plenty of nades. As you see, Kusta and Nadi were kind of boosted up in middle. They didn't see anyone middle, guys. That means they're playing heavy bomb site. B, A, maybe 1 CT spawn, who knows. The point being, with low utility, they're leading with Kusta's ult. He's peeking first, he's taking the long range, and they're slowly creeping up. Nadi's already in middle. His job's done. He has to just wait and flank. And so FNS opens door. They toss what little utility they got. FNS, being the man he is, saying, come shoot me, I'm in the open, come over here. Nadi, after the couple kills in A, this encourages Nadi to peek in the middle. He gets the Z and the highway person. Great comms right there. So here's Kusta, all right? He lined up, he got boosted in the middle. On the original peak, he lined it up to where he aimed right at the line and then popped up and shot almost instantly. But since there was no one there, no one died. So anyways, he gets Nadi in spot. He falls down. He's going to wait out the smoke. He knows that probably there could be a guy pushed up. We don't know, so he's going to play it safe. Wait for your team to make some moves. Elbow peek in. Nice shot by Kusta, taking out Mixwell. And now this encourages CLG to kind of creep up. They're not making noise. They're not making footsteps, guys. They're just trying to creep up. As soon as Kusta tosses the smokes, they're opening the doors. He's going to check up on top of the Shroud spot, very common spot. And he guesses right. Fortunate for him, he gets taken out by Tarek. But you know what? Cutler. Here's from Cutler's point of view. He's checking his forklift as Kusta's checking up top. He checks there to clean it. But luckily for Cutler, Tarek misses him. Cutler gets the kill. And it looks pretty easy. CLG making it work with teamwork. Teamwork makes everything work. No, that's not how it goes. But you know what? CLG's been showing that they've been doing a lot. Even without utility, they still somehow managed to really clear, methodically take over the bomb site. Good for them. Good for you. Back to you guys.
No, good for you, Eric. Good for you, my man. Now, look, going into Cash, you think it's going to be CounterLogic Gaming. Yep. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm not also going to dismiss the chance that an online Counter-Strike on a map of such popularity as Cash, that it's not possible.
Yeah, no, there's a chance. There's a chance. I'll go that far, but part of me just wants to see Sam not get his 1-for-1 prediction correct. That's probably actually the biggest part of it. But also, I do think CLG they have to get this win, and I think it's going to be easier now than obviously when you're going up against SK.
Something about Sam being wrong does intrigue me as well. Exactly. And speaking of that guy, let's go ahead and throw over to the commentators now. We're standing by ever so eagerly, waiting to bring you all of the action. What's up, Blue?
Nothing much. What's up, Stunna?
What's going on, man? We're just trying to watch a little Counter-Strike.
Yeah, same, dude.
About your turn, huh?
Waiting for the match to start. Well, apparently it's starting now. We're getting ready to jump into it. It's going to be over on Cash, ladies and gentlemen. compLexity versus CLG, and we are live indeed with the pistol. So compLexity starting off on the T side, and CLG jumping onto the CT side. Let's jump directly into it and take a look at what compLexity is going to do for their opening pistol round. Pretty straightforward, to be completely honest. A few players being boosted up into mid, potentially. Actually, no, I don't think anyone gets boosted up into mid. They're all just going to go straight forward into A main. A few more following suit over here into the squeaky hallway, and they're going to go out pretty quickly. Now, usually you'd expect there to be like an A retake setup here, but it's not the case, actually. CLG have players out on site. Ethan having the position, but just can't hit anything at all, so he goes down. Now Kusa's got to save the day. There's one and two. Looking for the third now as he swings out for it. Finally hits that shot, and a fourth from Kusa. One more to go. He's going to go for it out of ammo, but there's another gun on the ground. Oh, finally ends up getting knocked out there, so will be denied the ace, but Cutler comes in and saves the round.
Kusa. What a gamer, man. That was sick.
So casually getting those headshots as well. Didn't seem to panic at all in the situation. So Ethan flubs up a bit there first at NBK, but Kusta, beautiful control with this. Out to the left, one. Out to the right, another one. Swings in, grabs Slemmy, and then back over for the fourth and final kill. Really good stuff from him, and that's going to set CLG ablaze at the beginning of this match here, as they'll be able to hold a strong advantage right at the start of it, and compLexity will have to work from the bottom back, as they are going to be forced to just, force into this next round here. For those who are going to be a deco armor round here.
Yeah, Kusa called a timeout after that, just let it sink in a little bit.
Had to pop off a little bit after that one to celebrate. But compLexity are going to look for revenge here. Actually, nades tossed out early on, along with, I think, a few bullets from Cutler.
Dangerous by Cutler. I would not be messing around with Android's Deeg like that.
And brings Slemmy down to 11 HP, as he's the one that takes most of the contact there. The rest of Cole, though, abandoning those B halls, except for Android, and they are going to lead themselves as they're retrieving the bomb, probably into the same thing they've done on the pistol round here. Everybody going into A main. They're not going to boost anyone up over mid. Actually, I think this time they did boost someone up, but it's hard to toughen the minimap, unfortunately. I think they sent Def over at the top, so he should be playing out towards mid. Surreal looking for another shot as well, but he missed the opportunity there. He knows he's got one up on top of the big red box, and Kusta's attempt to defend mid unfortunately doesn't go so well. Def, player that was boosted over top a moment ago, picks up the kill against him, knocking him out of the equation. Bringing this back down into a 5v4 here now. Android also hunting for kills too against Ricky. 40 seconds remaining now for these guys to get into the site. Android found out. Ricky, well, he doesn't kill Android. He does do great damage over on the Slemmy, but Def trading it back, and now going to look for another headshot as well if he can hit it. But does end up having to back away into the vents, hold a little bit of a better position. 30 seconds remaining now. compLexity have control of the site though, so planting shouldn't necessarily be an issue. Now this is coming down to if CLG can pull off the actual retake here. As all their players stuck in the tree room and up on heaven there. This is going to be a little bit rough with all Deagles that they're working against here now. Moving back in, there's the first kill, and they catch the players trying to move out for the trade there. Surreal tagging for some good damage onto Ricky, but he can hold it in a relatively safe corner, at the very least act as bait for his teammates. Ethan secures the frag onto Surreal, and Def's not going to get much further either. Plenty of time to defuse that bomb. CLG secure themselves the second.
Yeah, 5 Deagles, 0 utility or anything like that, so even planting the bomb is very difficult in that situation because you can't smoke heaven or spawn or anything like that. Ethan kind of messes up his Molotov. Actually, it landed inside heaven, so he had to just back out towards spawn. All 3 players, that was his Molotov you just saw on the top left. So all 3 players just going towards spawn. Still able to retake successfully in that 3v4 situation. So compLexity 4 flashbangs. So what are they going to do here?
Probably just try to overwhelm B, it looks like, as they've got everybody going from the halls. Nades going in just a little bit too far to the right to make massive impact here. Ricky, I think. Oh, all right. He does end up finding the smoke on a repeat there, so catches Android this time. Cutler also getting a piece of it from Checkers. And the flashes, well, they don't do much, as we're just going to see.
What was that? They all just threw all 4 of them at once off the wall?
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine.
Let's all throw the same flashbang? I have no idea what just occurred. But that was hilarious.
They can't dodge them all.
No, they can't dodge. If all 4 of our flashbangs are 1, it's like a super flash. It's like, did they find a bug in the game where if you all throw a flashbang at once, it's just like,
you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just combines. It just goes through walls and everything
it goes through walls.
Doesn't matter if players are looking at it or
Yeah.
not. It's just like
Reminds me of like a television show where the Captain Planet,
yeah, our powers
combined. Like.
Well, into the gun round now. We do actually see Cole getting off to a pretty good start. Surreal and Slemmy catching a few CLG players getting a tad over aggressive. So that's going to be Kust and Cutler going down at the beginning of the round here. Chances for revenge, still a large possibility though. Ricky right outside of mid. Should we see compLexity try to move in for control over there? And then, well, actually never mind on that. Ricky just actually get taken down pretty quickly. Again, tad over aggressive. Not patient enough to wait that one out. Finally, some aggression pays off here with Ethan swinging into it. He finds the kill into Def, but it's going to matter very little at this point, since now they're at a 2v4 disadvantage, and Android still playing with this. He was actually caught trading out a gun, so FNS is going to be able to capitalize upon that and get the kill. Slemmy just barely is able to plant outside of this Molotov, so the good attempt from CLG to delay it, but doesn't really work out, and now with Desi eliminating Finesse, there's not a whole lot of hope for Ethan to clutch this one, so he's going to fall back and save with an AK.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually enough because CLG, again, you know, they kept a lot of their umps. They tried to get aggressive there. I believe there might have been a player in A main who heard the guy pushing door or something like that, because usually you don't have that opper watching it from, you know, obviously mid-garage. So their aggression doesn't pay off, but they do end up getting 2 kills. They do end up saving most likely an AK, and that's enough. I mean, they could, you know, win this next round. They could... You know, I don't think it would force compLexity onto an eco, but, you know, it'll make him have that. This next round would be a pretty bad and poor buy for compLexity if CLG does win this round. So they get a double up setup on Kusta and Ricky. Very common on Cash, very strong, very tough to deal with.
Now we're going to see, excuse me, now we're going to see compLexity just going for another default split more than likely. They may have a bit more of active presence leading up to B early on here. However, we can already see their players trying to push up to the halls. Molotov deployed. Ricky throws the smoke just a tad to the right, as you notice, so we can try to peek through it slightly in that jump up position. But the other smoke that was deployed further into the hallway still blocks his vision anyway, so it's not going to matter all that much. Now all goes quiet here, since compLexity, after deploying the utility, do end up falling back. What's important to note here is I think both the players on B ended up using their smokes in that situation, so they're not going to have anything else to hold off compLexity if they send pressure back in that direction, or to use more importantly on a retake should the actual defenders of the A site end up failing, as it is looking like Cole may try to go back out for control in mid and then try to sequence that into A again. But we'll see in a few moments here how they're going to decide to do that, as we're going under the 1 minute mark. This is going to be the common execution point for them. And indeed, Def starts us off moving out for mid control here now. Everybody pushing towards it, leading into the vents. Nobody trying to go directly to the B halls, so probably going to lead this into another A hit. And over on A, defenses are actually, you know, relatively centered in one position. I think they only have those 2 guys. I think they're stacked on top of each other.
On, you know, fork and above catwalk, so not the most ideal A setup in my opinion, but they could make it work, especially with that smoke.
They're going to have to support each other, though, in a lot of ways. FNS has got to keep Ethan alive, and the same as the reverse is going to be true here as well. But they start to roll back out. FNS is actually caught without a gun, but Ethan saves himself. Through with a quick trade. Kusta's also in that mix as well somewhere. But FNS still alive up on top, and they're going to have to hunt him down. But he's the one who's hunting them down and taking off heads at the moment, as he'll find one more before being traded out by Def. Now he's alone with only 7 seconds left as well, and he's wasting time trading out guns. Goes up, finds the kill, but Ricky, there's no reason for him to peek. He'll wait down the timer, just stay up on top there, let it run out, and what's even better, perfect, he kills Def after the timer.
Yeah, and that comes down to a lot of communication from FNS and Ethan to know who's going to look where, to know who's going to get which kills and watch what. And it works out very nicely for them. They each go 1 for 1. They know where the play is going. FNS stays alive just long enough to get that kill onto Desi. So they get 3 between the 2, and then by the time they hit the site, the rotate's already there, in an impossible situation for Def to really clutch that round. Now, again, just like I said, they force compLexity onto a save. That's exactly how you want to, you know, not 100% ideal, but you want to win that following round. You put compLexity in a really bad situation. And, really nice job by CLG. I was pretty skeptical that that setup was going to work. But it worked out very nicely. They saved the smoke. That's like the most important thing. They saved that smoke for the very last second.
Well, now Cole onto an eco here, and they're gonna have to try to. They're gonna try to do like a waterfall out through the door here. I promise this nade should just destroy them, and there you go. 3. Oh, actually, I should have had that kill for sure. Swift a bit on the USP at the end there. Thankfully, Ethan is still sitting in BK corner.
Aced.
Oh, he did ace. Look at that.
Ooh, where's the hype?
I didn't even realize.
Ace.
I was stealing all those kills from FNS. FNS was the one out in the open taking battles there.
I know. I thought he got like 2 of them too.
Yeah. Just taking all the risks. But yeah, nicely done there from Ethan. Pretty quick shutdown.
A lot of whiffs.
Overall, still a good job with the tag team duo of FNS and Ethan working together to pull off those kills. So now it is going to be compLexity working their way through the B halls here. Trying to go for another hit over towards B. Ricky again using the smoke. And oh, he almost got a kill with it that time too. He's really trying to make it work, and it's actually not a bad idea.
Ooh, just straight spam.
So that's going to take him down in his attempt to cross back out onto the site all of a sudden. Looking at a slight advantage for Cole. Still, this is just a few rogue players sneaking their way over towards B. They have to get everybody else grouped up, possibly through vents, but they're smoked off here still. Kusta can just walk back. He's got to be careful, though. There's a player watching for him. He goes back into there. Yeah, Kusta realizes it and kind of bails out on this for right now. So he's going to hold. I think I'll just back up towards sandbags instead. And Cole still haven't actually taken B site control. They've only really got checkers in the hallway. There's another player waiting on the site. That's, I believe, Cutler. He's going to be checking out for them in that position. But still trying to sell this, and they're selling it really well right now. As long as they check Shroud and they can, you know, like trade Ethan out 1-for-1, they're going to be in good hands to try and bring that back. But also, I think they've realized what's going on now and killing Android. There's going to be other players rotating back in. The first player doesn't check for it. Ethan gets that kill, gets the second one, finally pushed out by the highway player, but still, 2-for-1 trade is perfect for him. Now, the guys from CLG still have a man advantage. FNS is creeping in. If Def backs up a little bit too far here, he's going to get the kill. And there you have it. Now it's just Slummy trying to defend this one with a UMP and a 1v3. Basically an impossible round, and oh no. Oh no.
Oh man, we need Shacked and a Fool. We need Shacked and a Fool for CSGO. Shacked and a Fool, man.
Oh. Where did he think there was a gun at, though? I guess he was looking for that M4? I don't even... That just sucks. So, overall, CLG still winning it out quite dominantly with a 6-1 advantage now, and then just sending Cole onto another half by.
Wow.
Still.
NACS.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. And now CLG are going to try to amplify this even more. Ricky might actually get like bulldozed again here. Misses the shot. He's back in the corner. Can't even get to the corner. Cutler's got to save the B site now if they want to prevent a plant, but even he doesn't want to take contests now. But he peeks out while he's still reloading. So Android catches the kill. We've got an AUG as well in the play. Currently in the hands of Ethan. Trying to find some impact with it from heaven right now, but actually struggling. There's a real chance that compLexity could actually win this one back out. Thankfully, the remaining 3 on CLG have a boatload of utility to try and use, but they've got to be really careful because with these pistols, at least 3 out of the 4 remaining Cole players can be extremely mobile. Nicely found from Ethan, though, on the way back in. Not even using the scope, just drops down. FNS also contributing. That's clear to back out. The 2 smokes obviously used to box up the site. And nice, they don't really have to kill these last 2 players. They can just defuse it right there. Ethan just finding more than to try to peek into it. Def was hoping for a lucky shot on the op. He's not going to get it. Def, oh, nicely found actually on the no-scope there. Should be able to save the gun, but overall, still a nice round from CLG as they pull off the retake.
Great retake. You see those double, they deploy both smokes. Beautiful by them. Great retake by CLG. Depth, the only one that can get kills, though, on compLexity. He has 11 frags, and then everybody else is on 1-1, 3, and 2. 7 frags combined for everyone else.
That's crazy. That's insane, actually. Well, okay, there's someone else finding another frag. Surreal picking up an additional kill at the very least against Ricky here this time. But yeah, the only one that can even make any big plays, it seems, at this point. Whereas CLG is just stomping on them besides that. 7-1, continuing to push it forward. And, you know, even a lot of the times ending up in the situation where they're, like, down at the start, either ending up, like, in a 5v4 or something like that, and they still almost always bring it back a lot of these times, too. Yeah. So the early man advantages that Cole seem to be consistently getting in a lot of these rounds don't seem to matter too much.
Well, I think it's been twice at B, right?
It just happened again.
No, I mean that. Yeah, that they've retook the site though.
Oh yeah.
because they retook it when they had Deagles, and then they retook it that round.
It starts off like Ricky's actually having a pretty tough time finding impact with the op from Checkers right now, so he usually ends up getting knocked out early in the round, like right here, and then also Cutler got eliminated without any trade this time. So FNS is at the very least going to work his way over there on the counter boost spot and find Death. So a 3v4 retake that they'll have to pull off. Last round was a little bit easier, obviously. compLexity just having pistols for the most part. This time, it's going to be a much tougher sell, as not only do they have to work against rifles from the Cole side, but they don't have nearly as much utility to retake the site with as they did before.
You know what I would do in this situation? Contain, get 2 kills, and save. That's what I would do.
There you go. Android, though, finds FNS as it does appear CLG. At least at the start, we're going to go for it with FNS still alive, but now that he's dead, they are going to fall back and save.
Yeah, let's see what CLG's money is at. Yeah, see, it's not great.
They should still be able to buy in the next round, though.
No, they will.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, that 3rd gun would be great, and if you could get 2 more kills while saving the guns, you get that op and T-spawn, easy. Easy kills.
7-2 now. Cyril finds himself a little bit of action in that round that adds a few more kills to the counter for Cole. But overall, that rebuy is still going to be rolling in for CLG. And it is going to lead to everyone having guns. So there was enough cash flow left over to donate for Cutler, Ricky, and as well Kusta getting himself the op into this next round here. So they'll still be at full firepower for at least this one round before they are forced to save. And that is where compLexity will finally open up the real opportunity for them to get back into the match. Early boost up coming into the vents this time too to hopefully add a little bit more defense over towards mid. And Cutler is instead going to take up the positioning early, at the very least inside of Checkers before crossing back to site. And it's looking like Ricky is going to try to defend a little bit more from the vents instead of trying to use the smoke to play out and try to go for these peaks like he has been in some of these past rounds.
Yeah, I mean, compLexity's entire T side right now is just dependent on depth, kind of just working picks and doing whatever he wants to do, and everybody kind of playing around it.
About a minute remaining, so we should start to see compLexity moving into positions to move towards the site in a second here. And Ricky, I think, is probably going to end up getting challenged as well. Ricky needs to move back into that site, or they need to get a better read on this one. It's not coming towards mid. This is 4 men pushing into the B halls in a second, and that's going to be a tall task for Cutler, especially with the site getting double mollied. He's going to be pushed into the close corner, where it's essentially going to turn into like a one-and-done spot, unless their positioning ends up being bad.
What a shot.
Android just deletes Cutler. Ricky did catch the kill out in mid, and he gets a second one too, as Def kind of moves back into hunt. But Android trading it back now after being
great stuff by Ricky, though, to get those 2 frags.
And now they've got this into a 3v3. Android's been dinked down to 11. Ricky still has a molly as well. But Kusta, he's the one looking at this point. And a little bit of an opportunity to push that smoke. Just nothing being found with the off, so he trades out for the M4 instead. And now they're going to start to move back in. Ricky's still hunting for the backside. Kusta and Ethan both go down without a fight. This is all Ricky here now if he is going to commit himself to it, but not looking like the case. With the round set against him, he is just going to post up in these halls. Hope that they evacuate in that direction, but they don't even do that. They're actually pretty smart about the way that they read into this one. They all just go out towards CT instead. Ricky's going to be able to save the AK, but it's a small victory, as his team will still more than likely end up broke in this next round. And compLexity should be able to start to run the comeback a bit more fluently.
Yeah, and that should be a round win for CLG with Ricky getting those 2 kills. If Cutler gets 1, FNS probably doesn't feel forced to try to make a play out heaven. So he's alive, and you're in a 4v2 with basically somebody already around vents. So you probably win that round. But Cutler going down 0 for 1 kind of sets a little bit of a chain reaction. So he dies. FNS feels pressured to make a play to try to kill him before they really enter the site and get set up. He dies without getting a kill, and then you're in that post-plant situation where the T's are going to be very favored.
So compLexity now are going to try to really just brute force into the A bomb site since they have the advantage here. And Ricky, the only player with a real gun this round, goes down within the first 15 seconds of the round just starting. So into A they go. They'll have full A control, just mollying off truck as well. That's pretty much it. This is going to be the 4th round for Cole. There's not a whole lot that CLG can do now. Trying to post up for exits will be their best bet, but with these guns, even that's going to be a bit tough to work towards here. 4-7 will be the scoreline as CLG pretty much just full saved into this one here. Didn't really try to put up too much of a fight as their remaining players slowly get picked off one by one, and Cole is not afraid to hunt them down. Desi to Def contribute to the last 3 kills, and there you have it. Nice clean round from compLexity, and that's what they need to get back into this match. However, off that one single full save from CLG, they themselves are right back into the bye, but we'll be doing that after this pause.
Yeah, so CLG getting the op onto Kusta, but this B site has been, although they've retaken it a couple times on those ecos when Cole took it, I mean, it's been very problematic for him. You know, compLexity is hitting that pretty much, almost every single round these past, I don't know, 4 or 5 rounds or something like that. They just go there every time. And even when they didn't actually hit the site, they still took checkers control, boosted vent, and was in like a 4v5 and then hit A.
The only area they've really been having trouble to like consistently get is actually the A bombs. That's where they've got the most resistance. Getting like mid.
Yeah, pissed around. Kusta owned them when Ethan was on the boost. When they did the double, head stack setup. It's been every round has come from B.
Yep. But getting like either the, as you mentioned, the early pick or just moving out to mid, there's been, from CLG for the most part, okay, except for right now, I was about to say, there's been basically zero resistance to mid control, but Kusta just goes forward, takes the op battle right at the start, and gets that early kill. Not only this, but I think Android got hit by a nade as well, so he's going to be down to 51, trying to push forward here now into those B halls. It has left B slightly open, though, because they stacked on A a tad more this round. So once again, you are going to be looking to Cutler to pull off most of the defense there. Thankfully, Ricky already rotating up towards Heaven. He's going to be able to offer additional assistance, and FNS if really needed, he can swing into the vents quickly too and try to help out with this one. But these are only just players posting up outside of the T main entryway. We still have the rest of the team kind of stacked outside of A main as well, so the options are remaining open. Molotov goes to the back, but Ricky's not back there this time, so you're not going to burn him out so easily. He's waiting safely below Heaven. And that Molotov from the T side will essentially get wasted as they are trying to sell the fake now. And it may have worked out if not for the smoke in A main, as they can confirm pretty quickly where this hit is going to come from and see that it's instead going to go through the vents. Good flashbang out, but Cutler is not hitting the spray. And with Surreal having the repeat, he is going to be able to take Cutler down. That's the site open back up, and CLG put into another B retake scenario where in a lot of these situations, depending on their utility, it has been quite hit or miss. And this time, they don't have a whole lot of it. Kusta carries most of it, rotating over from the other side. A Molotov and 2 flashbangs. The other 3 are completely empty on utility. And that Molotov, they're not going to waste any time deploying it. Ethan, in on a flank, is going to have a big responsibility, but he just got a huge advantage in his favor, and that Surreal went back to check that and found nothing. The problem is he's got to move out quickly here as he just took that teammate. There's one pickup for Ethan. He knows he's got Def stuck to a corner. Def swings out though, gets the trade. Now Kusta moving back in. Thankfully Ricky got that kill. That miss could have been huge. Now they're gonna have to push back against this. Def is solo alone here, swinging back forward. He looks the wrong way. Ricky's gonna be able to get the final kill, but there's not enough time, or actually I'm not sure if there's enough time or not here. I think they've got enough of it, but yeah, Kusta should be able to defuse that bomb, and we will indeed see another round go up on the board for CLG.
That was really smart by Ricky to just go back and just kill him before they defuse. Nicely played in that 2v1 by Kusta and Ricky. Ethan gets great timing on the flank. Surreal doesn't check the the left side of it, and just allows Ethan to get that kill on the flank, kind of open things up for his team.
And so just like that, CLG back at the driver's seat here. Not going to be able to break compLexity so quickly, however, as they're back into the buy as well. But they've got double op set up. They've got full utility to work with. So it's certainly going to be the hardest sort of round to play against here if you're compLexity, as they just go right back into setting up for a default. Early mid utility being used a lot here on the T side. And Surreal did spot, I think it's Cutler now out over here in mid by the white box, and they instead just have Ricky kind of solo defending in B with additional assistance available to be deployed by Ethan in the vents there. So a slight change up to the defenses being deployed by CLG here, but for the most part still leaving FNS as the main A defender, and then Kusta kind of as a swing player for mid and any of the other sites that need his assistance. Molly just goes up on a boost after he himself gets smoked back out in Z. Ethan also being forced back into the B bomb site. But compLexity not anywhere closer to really getting a consistent amount of map control here, even just team flashing one of their own players and trying to go out towards mid. Certainly not helping their own case. Thankfully, again, CLG have always had a pretty light hand about the way that they've tried to control mid, and it's going to be the same thing here. They don't focus on mid itself, they focus on the outskirts instead, like vents and up on top of the highway. But they have not been able to spot a lot of the pressure from Cole, so they themselves are still trying to figure out where exactly this hit is going to swing itself towards. And it is going to end up being another attempt to play this into vents, but they're certainly trying to sell it over towards A. Android going into the site. Nobody checks over here in checkers, though, so Ethan escapes with the first kill on Surreal. Thankfully, Android quick on the trade, but Kusta also finding the last of the players alone in mid there. Ricky is forced out of Heaven by the Molotov, so there should be just enough time for Cole to get up and plant this exactly where they wanted to, but again, they're dealing with such huge numbers working against them. A 2v4 retake. Android, if he can solidify this kill into FNS, there is still a real chance at this one, but Def taking a huge risk and boosting up there. We'll have to hope it pays off with an early kill, and it does. He takes down Ricky. Now Android up to bat here against FNS as he's lost Def. Android hits his mark, and it's planted for him, so he can waste a lot of time. Now bringing it down to a 1v1. Android, one more kill to go, but he's reloading up close, tries to recover the gun in time, but not going to happen. So we see CLG just barely escaping with another round again as they push up on 9 rounds overall.
Yeah, again, they just opt to just chase that player down. Checkers in that 2v4 complexity. Able to bring into a 1v1. The reason that actually did turn into 1v1, though, is because FNS started peeking way too early. If he just stays alive there and he just kind of shows his shoulder a little bit, Android really can't look back towards sight and do anything. So a little bit more patience on FNX's part, and I think that round is a lot easier won. I like what Kusta was doing, though. He was kind of jumping around the E-box, kind of spotting highway. They see him, then they peek, he gets the kill. That was pretty nice.
So complexity continues to buy into these situations since it's brought down so close, and they continue to have the money to do so as well here.
Yeah, the reason I like that on E-box, though, is because it's like a little bit of mind games, right? If the guy has an op, you expect him to be posted up. You don't expect him to be jump spotting, and then when he sees you, peek with an op. Because as soon as you see that and you're an AKer, you're thinking, oh, sweet, I could just kind of go up highway and challenge this guy because he probably has an M4.
Complexity changing up their tune a little bit from what we saw in the last round here as they send most of their players inside of A main to deploy out here. But there's also a 3-man defense already set up from CLG. They completely abandoned mid. Ricky obviously watching for highway pressure to account for mid. But he's going to be able to change up his own tune pretty quickly here when we do finally start to see complexity moving out from A main. And they're going to have to want to do this pretty quickly here as they don't know intel. They don't have a really good idea about what's going on the site, so they're going to have to play this out. Molotovs are great, though. Sends Ethan right into the open. Now they're down to 2. They didn't really trade out good damage at all. Ricky gets dinked or something, gets hit with something weird. But at the end of it there, I think he got hit by a teammate, actually, it looks like. Overall, though, CLG able to respond to this a little bit, but Control does go over to the side of complexity. As they take the site, there's still another player at Sandbags, too, so they got to account for highway as well when they push out in. This is a really tough retake situation. Desi's low, so if they can get him peeking, they can knock him back out. They had him in the open, but Kusta just missed his chance, and now moving out onto highway, there's going to be Def striking from the white box. No hope for Cutler. This is going to be a 5th round for complexity.
Yeah, and even though CLG, already has 9 rounds this half, it's actually been like a pretty contested half. Like they definitely could have lost this half here and been down. But they are going to be guaranteed to at least win the half with 9 rounds. Next round is going to be a very poor buy for them. So just going to have that M4. Maybe if I was him, I'd probably drop 2 bombs. Let's see what they're out for, though.
We do get to see this now. Indeed, it was one of his, he did swing over here and accidentally hit his teammate right in the head, so not the best situation that they could have played against there, but still, as we get into our next round, the last round on the half as well, complexity still full buying into these situations. They had.
That's what he did, drop 2 arms, that's good.
Oh, you're going to see complexity is remaining split up here on the opener, much like many.
So they showed B presence. They saw that they were pushed and could be sunroom, and they just immediately fall back.
Now CLG are going to, excuse me. Now CLG are going to be holding inside of checkers for the most part, just waiting this one out. Still kind of moving FNS around a little bit, I believe around the heaven area, down below it. But as we do start to see more of Cole pushing in, it is going to lead itself to more than likely just be a direct push. It means the A players need to get themselves either towards mid or over to this B side very quickly. Smoke deployed out to delay this. FNS is going to take up the box spot. This has actually really not been used in this half. I don't really think CLG used this at all.
The double.
So they're going to take a risk on it and hope it plays off big time here. However,
they just saw where the smoke came from.
I was about to say, Def should have just spotted that smoke pop off. So Ethan's going to go back out. They may not know about the second player. Regardless, though, Ethan gets that first kill. Nades going in, as we can see. Massive damage done to both of them. FNS at 42, Ethan at 17. They're going to call this off and swing it the other way.
Yeah, but they should have heard like all of them and know that this is a possibility, but nobody gets the fallback at all. Kusa's in a decent spot at Toxic, though, to maybe do something, but he has a scout.
He doesn't hear them moving into the site either. He's going to hear him now, but swings out. That should look like it was a headshot. Well, regardless, he peeks it, gets another hit anyway. Afterwards, though, not only does Surreal knock out FNS elsewhere on the map, but Slemmy indeed takes down Kusta. So even 3v3, they still hold highway presence. Oh, nice swing from Surreal. It seemed like Color had that kill dead to rights, but no. Now Desi's eliminated Ricky, so Ethan's still stuck in Z right now. He's going to be able to swing out. Takes him a moment, but he finally gets that finalization on Surreal there to take him out of the picture. Now Ethan, though, still extremely low, is going to have to try and clutch this out by some miracle if he wants to secure the double digits for CLG coming out of the half. Pushing towards it, tries to go for that kill, but it's not going to happen. So Cole is on the comeback path, trying to stop CLG from pushing forward into what could be a 5th place position overall in the North American League at the end of this season. Come back in just a few moments, folks, and we'll have the second half to see if CLG can indeed close up with a 2-0, or if Cole is going to come back and split it 1-1.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Legion Lenovo, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
For the last time tonight, folks, welcome back to the ESL Pro League. It's still compLexity versus CLG, and CLG holds the advantage here on Cash for their second map. It's a slight advantage, though, much like our previous map. It's only 9-6 in CLG's favor, so plenty of room for CLG to bounce back into it and still try to split this set 1-1 for the night. And CLG, it's certainly going to help them, as a few teams trying to chase their win record to be able to try to put CLG back down in the relegation position and keep themselves safe for the next season of Pro League. Right now, CLG has that spot, but they're going to want to try and secure a few more wins themselves, make sure that they're out of the clear. Whereas CLG also trying to push themselves forward enough to be in the top 6, so they really want that 2-0. Anyway, we're live with it. compLexity now jumping over to the CT side, and CLG on the T side. I keep getting confused. They will start with a C.
Yeah, Slemmy having a rough one again, 3-10. But like I said, compLexity could have won a lot more rounds. They just didn't capitalize on a lot of their opportunities. A lot of nice retakes occurred for CLG on the east side. Slemmy and Depp getting aggro A main, and then the door push is going to come.
Yeah, CLG going to be trying to push out pretty quickly here, not wasting any time with it. And there is, much like what we saw from CLG in the first half, there is presence from Cole on this site. 1-to-1 trades, heavy damage onto Ethan, though, to be able to pick up that trade. But the same is true for some of the guys on Cole right now. FNS capitalizing another kill, Kusta keeping his planter alive, as Ethan is able to put that on the ground, and they continue to play aggressively here. Kusta swinging out a little bit more as he tries to look for a few more kills, but it's actually Ethan that claims the next one. Nice shots from Desi, hunting for FNS's head as well, but now he's been surrounded. Thankfully, Surreal bails Desi out a bit there. He's able to pick up one more kill, and unfortunately, Surreal's gone down, so it's just Desi left alive. They've restricted it to a 1v1 here. Desi's gonna have the 3K to close out, but it won't happen. It's Ethan with a 4K that brings CLG back into the fold with the lead here as they secure another pistol.
Yeah, Ethan with a great round. I mean, that's both pistols for CLG. Ethan gets the 4K on the T-side pistol. Kusta gets the 4K on the CT pistol. So nice individual effort for both those players to lock down those rounds and give their team just a, I mean, it's like playing with a 6-round handicap almost, you know?
Yeah, Ethan's also going massive here, too.
You know, to promote equality, maybe we should have handicaps in Counter-Strike and CSGO. What do you think?
What do you, can you elaborate?
Well, your handicap would be like a 14. So you'd just be like, if there's 5 blues, you'd be given like 14 rounds cushion if you played against That over there.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta promote. It's gotta be equality, man. You know?
I could work with like a 10-round cushion, maybe. You don't have to go right to 14. I could play a little bit more than that. The pistol round, you never know. It's like a roll of the dice in itself a lot of ways. But CLG in this round are cleaning up pretty handily. The only one left alive for Cole is just going to be Android over on the other site now, and obviously completely detached from this. A few nice deagle shots are still a very well possibility, but winning the round, probably not. The bomb is actually still way out towards mid, so it's going to take him a few more seconds to get that in position, but still, once he plants it, everything should be good, and Android's not really looking to lurk over to the other site or anything like that. He's more focused on saving this deagle for the next round, probably, or at the very least, just trying to get as many kills as possible before he dies.
Clean anti-eco, though. Going to come out from CLG. Kusta with a nice 3K. Ooh. Some bit random.
Scared him, dude.
Yeah, it scared me.
He flicked towards it. So Android still hunting for heads here. Oh, all right. He gets that one, too. 3 more to go now. I think he saw the shadow of the player on boost, so he might try to get tricky with this one and go out the other way to look for it. So we'll see. Yeah, he knows he's up there. He just can't find him because he's way in the back of boost up. And obviously going out the doorway is death. There's another one from Android. I think he's going to miss his other player pushing him, though. At this point, though, it doesn't really matter. He's done the damage that's necessary. If he gets a 4th one, it's just ridiculous, but he'll end up with 3 as FNS seals the deal.
Yeah, Android's Deeg is no joke, man. He has some really nice shots.
And so now this takes us into Colt's full save round here. Pretty much absolute minimal investment except for Slemmy, who purchases the smoke. And it should be pretty easy sailing for CLG here, as they are... compLexity, this is just going to stack over on the A-bomb site. Hope that CLG send it in that direction, but in a moment it is looking like they are going to go into B, and the only one defending there is going to be Android. You can do some work with a deagle, but with a USB, probably a much lessened effectiveness overall here. So we do start to see the executes come back out. Kusta first to strike. He also lights up another player, but he himself was brought down pretty low, so he's not going to want to re-peek that directly. Ooh, might have had a choice a second ago there, but thankfully still makes it into the vents before being scouted out by those players in mid. So CLG taking it, and Ricky should be well aware of this push that's about to work its way into the garage. Just 3 more to knock back out. Pretty straightforward here for CLG, as I said before, so they're going to be able to claim the 12th.
What was that?
With the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does that sometimes. I think it's like a server thing. It's weird. But this is exactly the same situation that we found ourselves in.
Actually, it was.
Yeah.
6-12 on Cobble.
So now this is going to come down to Cole really winning out the first gun round and being able to battle it back, as otherwise, very much so CLG will have an easy time of pushing themselves up to 16 rounds here. But Cole already did it once back on Cobblestone, so we're going to have to see if they can do it again here on Cash. And that's a great start. Moving in, taking the aggressive play over in Squeaky, and catching the first kill on Ethan. And that's been their big player so far, too. So eliminating a massive portion of the fragging power from CLG right off the bat is going to be able to help their case. Still have Ricky and a few of the others that we've seen some good stuff from as well, so you don't want to count them completely out just yet. But after deploying a bit of utility into the B site, we do start to see their shift happening over here towards A, where the actual hit is rolling in towards. And it didn't really seem to sell compLexity the other way, but regardless, they got the site under their control. Kusa sneaking up through mid, was able to find Slemmy out too. Unfortunately, he's going to be found by Destiny on a flank, so trade there does still leave compLexity with a man up in this situation. Everyone from CLG is positioned in this site and ready to hold it off in the post plant, though, so that's the only advantage they have going in their favor. Cutler still having a Molotov to play with. He was caught jumping out. FNS this is was caught jumping back out, and now Ricky's going to get mollied out from his own position. Cutler just goes spraying wildly, and that's going to give it all away. compLexity with a really clean retake will be able to win out the first gun round.
Yeah, and they really didn't even need to win that round, CLG. They just need to get more kills. So if you're FNS there, you don't need to just go for the home run play and jump out to Toxic. Like, it's just not necessary, because you really just need to get a couple kills and you win the round. Or, you know, not necessarily the round, but you play for the next round, essentially, right? To just ruin the compLexity's economy. So just stay in A main there, get your 1 kill. Hopefully your teammates get like 1 each, and then all of a sudden Cole probably wins the round, but they probably win with like 1 left. And then you just win this round, you pretty much win the game. Similar to what we saw on Cobble. So Surreal started it out last round with a pick at door. This round just playing a bit more standard. I think he's just in the A site, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And they have a 2-1-2 setup with, I believe that is Slemmy at middle, kind of spotting highway. So mid control is going to be pretty easy for CLG to take if they want it. But then any type of like direct A take will be very difficult to win the round because not only do they have an opera there, they have Depp at the forklift. He has a bunch of utility. Slemmy could quick rotate to A. So they really want to start out with a mid control here, and that's what they're going to opt for.
CLG just being cautious of additional mid presence here too. As you can see the Molly going into the little mini cubby over there. Ethan creeping back up. He's going to have to full check sandbags. But waiting around the corner is going to be their first target. It'll be Slemmy. He's prepped for this. I'm not sure if he realizes the fact that 2 have already moved up here. He's definitely waiting for them to probably cross over towards vents. But seeing that Molotov just re-secures what he thinks is working this way. And Ethan just kind of peeked out here. Now, we did see the flashbang hitting it, and Slemmy didn't think it was just one player. But Ricky remained in the open because he thought he could pick up an additional kill. And that is going to lead to his death. So 4v3 advantage to the complexity camp. Cutler's going to try to change that. Moves in and again, 1-to-1 trade. Not going to be what CLG needs here. They need clean kills. They need that right there. What FNS picked up. And Kusa's going to try to capitalize on it even more so. He knows one escaped over there towards Toxic. Could be up on top, but another battle taken and lost by CLG that Kusa now has to try and save. 15 seconds left. They've got to try to go for the plant. Kusa just wants that kill. He's going to try to go for the last one as well. There's 10 seconds left. He can still go pick up the bomb and be able to plant this, but oh, he's really running into the timer now. He is going to be able to pull it off, and I don't even think Desi's going to try to push on that at all. Still stuck over here by Truck, but Kusa may not check for it. Here's the problem. He's going to have to wrap around it, sees it, but no, Desi wins it out, so that's going to give the round to Cole. And now they're back in the match, 8-12.
Yeah, and Desi did a really good job of just not making any noise. He literally won that 1v1 because he just made no noise. No noise at all. Kusa has to worry about the flank, he has to worry about door, he has to worry about highway, and then, sure enough, he just kind of walks into Desi, and, you know, Desi just gets a nice, easy kill on him.
So that's going to force the save from CLG here now as they do just go for the half purchase into this round with Tech 9s, P250s, little spreads of utility here and there. Their players are going to try to go pretty quickly into A. Def, I'm not sure if he realized that Ethan already got up to the box. So he knows now, though, with those bullets hitting the wall. They'll throw in Molotovs, HE grenades, anything to try and hold back the tide of CLG from pushing back into the A site, since they weren't really prepped for that hit so early in the round. CLG, looks like they're going to oblige and go for it anyway after this Molotov, of course. But Desi already catching not one, but both of the players trying to push in towards mid. Ethan leads the charge out onto the site. Oh, okay. Just finds Slemmy through the smoke there as he catches him in NBK. And Def as well. Destroyed by Kusa. That's the plant. They're going to get a plant at the very least here. They've evened it back out to a 3v3. 2 of them now have M4s as well to play with. With armor, I should mention. Everybody bought up armor. They're going to boost Ethan up on top. Good nade, though. Did massive damage. And Desi just casually taps on the 1. Finishes off the 2nd. Android gets the 3rd and final kill. So Desi ends up with a massive 4-can this round. And compLexity will push up to 9.
And that was great rotation by compLexity. The A take happens. What does the B player do? He goes into Z, he watches their middle and their highway, and then they also have an anchor at B, so we're going to see a tactical pause, I'm assuming by CLG probably, as they're going to get a full buy here, and they want to make sure they get, you know, maybe their bread and butter. You know, what are they going to do to stop this compLexity run? It's exactly how you want to rotate, though.
Yep. Good stuff from Desi overall here, even the sort of tactical play at the end here, followed up by that nade. He gets both these kills easily.
Yeah, sometimes what counters that is when they do an A take and you have like an opper just sitting on boost waiting for that guy, because that is like the proper rotation, because you need somebody to watch your highway there, and then that opper just, you know, kills the person clearing out mid and Z.
Back into the next round here with CLG having a full buy to play off of, including the op. Back into the picture here for Kusta. compLexity continuing to kind of stack up their own money though, winning out these rounds consistently. CLG, much like over on Cobble, are struggling to close out with those last few crucial gun rounds to push them over the edge up to 16. Ricky quickly up towards Squeaky Doorway, and Ethan as well with the smoke wall out in mid is going to be ready to deploy, but he's going to have to wait for his own smoke wall to fade. Thankfully, Ricky got the first kill over in Squeaky. That's Surreal going down. Slemmy, they didn't account for him back over here at Sandbag, so Ethan is going to fall directly after that. Another trade, but the bomb is already on the ground, so this is relying on a lot of quick reactions from the compLexity side of things. They all rotate into it, getting ready to push back inside. Def is going to have a monster flank that you'll want to pay attention to in the coming seconds here, but for the rest of the team, they are trying to push back in. Kusta, he's already counted out the truck player. Last 2 are on highway besides Def. excuse me, working in on this flank right now. Slemmy also getting an additional kill against Cutler here, so it's down to 2 now, and Kusta not really hitting his shots, but FNS so sneaky, wrapping around the backside, he gets 2, and Kusta finally secures another shot for the final kill to give CLG their 13th.
Yeah, Surreal getting entry'd, A sites open. A lot of utility on both teams. Good amount of Molotovs, decent smoke for CLG. compLexity doesn't really utilize theirs to the fullest, right? They don't really force anybody out with Molotovs too well. FNS just pushing through the smoke. Surprises 2 of them, you know, to clinch that round for his team. And now compLexity's money wasn't in a great spot. They're at an eco, and this is basically just CLG's game to lose at this point.
Yeah, they're gonna have to push in pretty quickly. compLexity won't have any impact here as CLG already getting prepped up in A main, but with these upgraded pistols, they can't even really do that now. They're going to have to just sit back, wait, hope they can hit a couple lucky shots here. Desi's got the Deagle in hand. Android, unfortunately, doesn't. So I doubt we're going to see any of those heroics that we saw back on the second round, where he was definitely keeping the economy low for the CLG side of things. But for right now, just a split opener from CLG, spreading their players out across the map and making sure that compLexity don't try to do anything crazy aggressive to try and counter them out overall and make things more chaotic than it needs to be. After some delay, though, we do finally start to see CLG grouping back up, getting ready to play this out towards mid-control first, and the only one there to defend it, much like many of the past rounds, is just going to be Slemmy playing it out from the white box. So it should be relatively easy to get control of, even if Slemmy, regardless, I should say, if Slemmy peeks it or not. They're still playing it really carefully, though. You can see, like, utility being used here, pretty much all their utility used except for smokes in mid to take control there. Molotov's gone. All they have left are one molly sitting on Kusta and then flashbang besides that. Kusta catches death going back outside of Squeaky though, and Slemmy is also eliminated with 0 damage converted onto any of the players from CLG. It's not until right now that we see some done from Surreal. Android also tries to hunt back out. FNS is actually in a really good position. He just has to account for Android sneaking in from Z. He wasn't able to spot the feet of him just yet, but with the smoke fading, he's going to catch that kill. They know where Desi's at, however, so the round is over. It's CLG pushing up to 14, with at most 1 to 2 players lost here and hunting down Desi.
I mean, if they hunt him down,
if
they don't have to. It's just a Deagle. He's going to want to upgrade it the following round, but...
Yeah, I'm looking for him. They're giving him space at the very least. As you see, Ricky finally hits the shot, taking him out. So that's CLG pushing up towards victory here. Unless we can see CLG, or excuse me, not CLG, compLexity win out this gun round and break CLG to buy their own chance to get back into the game again. They're now 5 rounds behind. And CLG really only need this 1 round here, because that'll put compLexity onto a pretty bad force buy in the next round. And at that point, it would be very easy to secure the victory. We're going to see CLG moving very quickly through the B halls, and we haven't actually seen a whole lot of B halls pressure so far from CLG, so this is something new from them moving up. Desi may not necessarily expect this so early. Android is really going to have to try and bail out his teammate, unless Ricky kind of gets drawn to those bullets, which I'm sure he heard from Android there, waiting for the peek on the right side. Desi gets knocked out regardless there in that corner by Ethan, so they're going to take him down, and now they have to worry about is Android sitting back on the site, but also now Surreal too, as he's rotated up towards Heaven, so picking up 1 kill against Ethan. It is delaying the hit. It doesn't seem to be changing up the dynamic just yet for CLG. I think they're waiting, however, for Cutler to try and open up Squeaky and see what the A side is looking like. If it's going to be wide open, they can pull the players back and try to go for a hit over there instead. But if there is still going to be resistance from the CTs, they might as well just follow through with their play over here on this site. In the meantime, stay peeked out, try to see if they can punish anyone getting over-aggressive on the CT side. And if that's the case, then they can follow through, excuse me, in towards the B play. And that is looking like what they are going to choose to do here now. Slowly creeping up, but Ricky got all the way underneath of Heaven. Android showing his shoulder. Ricky does not want to shoot on that until he gets close enough to secure the kill. And he's going to swing into it, but Android knows he's there, so he's able to fully swing back out, picks up that kill against Ricky. All of a sudden, CLG don't seem to have a lot of bargaining chips to work with anymore. They're down to 20 seconds. The bomb rotated over to A, so they are going to be able to get the plant. And Kusta now having to try and keep himself alive over there, and at the very least, weigh off a few of these players before he rotates back off. Cutler caught trying to go back. Now, they've been split to a huge degree. Kusta has to take a shortcut, go out towards mid. He's got 1 for free. That's Surreal gone down. FNS making a move here. That's dangerous. No, but oh, the peek into the headshot, and 1 more to go. FNS secures the last 2 kills, and that sends CLG up to 15.
And it played out exactly how you said. They waited for Cutler. He kind of got that info at A that nobody was there. They plant the bomb. I believe it's planted for A main as well. So FNS just kind of runs back there, meets up with Kusta. Maybe it's not actually. I didn't see that on the ground. But yeah, just like a full over-rotate by compLexity. Android actually played the site very well. Just jiggle peeking, jiggle peeking, jiggle peeking. Yeah. That was nicely played by him, but Def didn't need to rotate from A, I don't think.
I think they only had a truck player at A, that was it.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah.
So they left it wide open, essentially. So this will be a pause from compLexity now, since they're still going to be trying to win this one out. And actually, interesting stat point there that the production has pointed out for you is FNS, really 4th in kills, but he's number 1 in ADR overall, 104.1 over the next team.
It's that round where Ethan aced. Remember?
Yeah, like that's right.
Assists.
Yeah. He pretty much
did like 300 damage.
He pretty much killed all of them.
I remember he threw the nade. Almost every kill was assist. He got like 300 damage that round.
Mm-hmm.
It's all off that round.
That's making the difference right there.
Yeah.
Because scores would be flipped.
9
wasn't
assists.
That. So into what could be the last round here in compLexity, as you can see, don't get the greatest of buys going. 3 umps, so there's something there, and actually pretty decent utility.
Ooh, the ump guarantee.
I don't know, man. Are you calling it right now? Probably not.
I would have got that kill.
Yeah. Well, Ricky's going to catch the first kill, but they... Oh, this is going to be interesting here. They're trying to push back in. FNS realizes it, though, and both of them just get completely destroyed. So they're down to the pistol players. All the umps are dead.
The double run through smoke at mid main while your teammate flashes you.
So it's down to Slemmy here. He actually has everyone except Ethan is one-tappable for Slemmy right now. But it's interesting that he ends up taking the battle versus the one that he can't one-tap. So at the end of it, it is going to indeed be CLG that take it 2-0. And I was right, Dazed. I call it a 2-0.
You guys all were right.
You said it would split 1-1. What's up?
I mean, no, man. I just got it wrong. I don't know what to say.
All right, guys. So we're going to bring the analysts into the conversation now and give their thoughts as to how map number 2 played out. Guys, go ahead, take it away.
I think we could tell who's running that desk over there at this point in time. I
one
think it's
clear alpha.
One clear color truly running the show over there. But just along that lines of running the show, I mean, CLG ran that one.
Yeah, no, they got into it. It looked like they were, getting or falling into that same pattern as they did on Cobble, really, where they, again, win pistol second half and then kind of struggled to close that out in pistols, in weapon rounds. One of the big differences here, though, is the fact that during those rounds after compLexity wins the first buy round in the second half, is that CLG do such a good job with limited utility and limited weaponry to do economic damage to compLexity. So the second they actually lose a round, they're right back to an eco. CLG get multiple rounds in a row, get to build up a bit of an economy and so on. And that obviously goes a long way for you, especially when it's fairly tight, because you got to remember the first half, that was pretty, pretty much in the similar fashion as well. Very close rounds, even though compLexity pretty much did the same thing over and over again by going towards B. They were constantly, finding kills, finding plants and so on. And that's, why they do it. But yeah, no, CLG in the end run away with it, but it was a pretty hotly contested match.
I mean, even through the first half, we saw a 9-6 scoreline in CLG's favor, and in all reality, not a too terrible place for compLexity to find themselves. No, there was definitely room to build and something to go off of there. But I mean, it just did not come together. Obviously, looking further into the map, I mean, even in the first half, I think Slimmy's sitting at like 3-10.
Yeah,
like.
That and losing both pistols.
Yeah, it just really it hurts the momentum there in terms of like getting anything going whatsoever.
Yeah, but I do think that like their T side, obviously, you can always talk about how they should be able to have more variety to their play, but I think they got into a situation where they figured out that the B bomb site for CLG was clearly a weakness, where they were able to get on site, whether they had weapons, whether they were rocking Tech 9s or whatnot, and they were kind of just going with that, which I think is completely fair. Obviously, when the end goal is to win, you just do, if only one thing works, just keep doing that thing until, CLG actually understands how to adapt to it. So I think that's perfectly fine. And I think probably the biggest swing here in this game is the fact that Kusta and Nate both find 4 kills in the pistol rounds to kind of secure CLG that easy start.
Well, CLG now 2 wins away from slipping up to that 5th spot. A really good position for CounterLogic Gaming, a team that we weren't sure how they would feel going how we felt about them going forward.
Yeah.
In terms of now we're getting in the crunch time, it's really a race to the playoffs. But seeing them halfway there in their goal, good on them. Let them continue to flourish and come up in that light. I think they're on a good trajectory right now, and keeping it up would be, obviously in their best interest.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, a great series there from CounterLogic Gaming. compLexity still needs to go to the drawing board, really kind of figure it out and hone it down, how they want to approach it, how they want to do it from here, because, this isn't the end of the road. It's probably slightly discouraging, but more so than that, put a little bit more in there and you can take it.
Yeah,
it's a little more time, I think.
Just a little bit better CT sides in itself, actually, because their T side, they definitely have an idea of what they want to do, which is obviously great for them. And I think their CT sides, if they can muster up those a tiny bit more, strengthen them up a little bit, they could actually go a long way.
Well, I think if you did miss that match or even the 3 maps before that, I don't know what the hell you were doing with your life, but you need to head over to youtube.com/ESLCS, where you can watch these VODs as well as any of the other VODs throughout the entirety of this season. YouTube having been a great home.
Oh, yeah, no, it's pretty much homepage. I've already started up Chrome, it's already there, loaded up, ready for me to watch some games.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and recap today's matches as they were played out. You'll take a look now on the graphic. Energy making pretty quick work of Rush there.
Yeah.
A really kind of anticipated turnout. Then we look at the later games today with CLG coming away with 2 map wins, having a little bit more trouble on the first one. As you do see that 16-14 scoreline on Cobble.
Yeah, I will say, though, that 69 is a bit misleading on Cash. I think compLexity honestly put up a decent fight on both maps.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of games where the scoreline's not indicative to just how close it was. It come down to a 1vx, and some guy just pulls something out of his back pocket because that's where you pull things from. Nonetheless, let's take a look now at the standings for NA Pro League going across the board. I think being in this playoff hunt, it's very important to note that some of these teams are definitely spacing themselves out from the rest of the pack.
They definitely are, and already we can kind of see that 11-win club is starting to get broken up. No longer within playoff territory, to put it that way, or not as safe as, at least with Energy picking up 2 wins today. And yeah, you can really tell that the race is tightening up right now. It's going to be really fun to see. Tomorrow we have CLG versus Renegades, and you can tell just by the standings, 2 wins in that game, that could be a massive swing for both teams.
We actually have the other race going on here at the bottom of the standings where we've got Rush, Winter Fox, and Foundation.
The not-so-fun one?
Yeah, trying not to be last place overall.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the European side of things. Navi, Astralis, Mousesports in your top 3, G2 North, and FaZe cleaning up that top 6. And in all reality, I think this is kind of how you could see this going. It's weird in some lights.
I mean, the thing about this EU standings is the fact that it changes so heavily from day to day. Yesterday we had Hellraisers among the top 6, G2 were in 5th spot, North were in like 3rd. Like everything's just subject to change really with those standings right there. And I think that's also something worth keeping an eye on going forward. Definitely
something to reiterate here is it is the top 6 teams from each region that do advance on and play at that $1 million final. Or excuse me, they try to get their whoa, hold on now before we make some promises that we can't keep.
Yeah.
They try to get their big piece of the pie, which is that entirety of a $1 million prize.
Exactly. I was for a second there was thought you were writing checks or something.
Yeah, man, I'm going to supplement the other
out of own pocket.
I'm kidding, not happening.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yes, very important to note that the top 6 teams from each region do advance on to those Dallas LAN finals. So if you want to go to that, you better grab your tickets at proleague.com/Dallas, where they have them for sale all day, every day, unless Vendetta's on the website, in which case he's buying them up in a fury.
Yeah. Accurate. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, let's take a look now at tomorrow's matches, because tomorrow will be the final day of Week 8, and we will be here to bring it to you. CounterLogic Gaming Renegades could be a real barn burner. Energy and Misfits, maybe. I think it has potential. I think the first one's going to be the one we're going to go to.
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting game. But the second one, you have to consider, Misfits. We haven't seen them with the 2. Well, we've seen 2 games with the new Frenchies, but that was just Winter Fox, who were playing from Australia. This is going to be their first real test versus Energy, and they might just be that team that messes up for Energy's playoff hopes, maybe.
I mean, this would be the time of the season where roster changes are happening. Oh, wait, that's the whole season?
Yeah, pretty true.
So, yeah, I'm not going to put it out of the realm of possibility that anything's possible here at NA Pro League.
Yeah, I think regardless, it's going to be a pretty good day of games tomorrow, regardless of what happens, what kind of lineups we wake up to. But, you know, it remains to be seen. But, yeah, definitely looking forward to CLG Renegades.
Well, that is one matchup we're going to have to bring to you tomorrow. That does it for us here at ESL Pro League, second night of Week 8. And we'll be back tomorrow at the same great place, with a great time, and most importantly, our great faces. Thanks for joining us tonight.